hope you have a wonderful day today. I'm so sorry I could not be there. However, make sure you watch this video entirely. Take good notes. If you saw a friend that jumped right to the assignment with classroom, please make sure you inform them that it's important to watch this video, because if not, they will not make a good grade on the assignment. A lot of the questions on the assignments included in this video, like the answers to the questions in this video. So please make sure you watch the video, tell a friend, take good notes. I will not go over this material in class on tomorrow. I'm going to jump straight into the lesson. This video is really review and then the very beginning. So make sure you take notes and understand what's going on. If you have any questions, please email me. So let's get started. So if you remember, at the very beginning of the war, Russia and Germany made a pact called the Nazi-Soviet Pact. It was a pact that said Russia and Germany would not go into war with each other, but they would stay friends, they would not attack. All this cool peace, kumbaya. Well, in June 1941, Hitler violated the pact and attacked Russia. Russia responded by calling the U.S. asking for aid. So, Russia and the U.S. was not completely friendly. You know, they wasn't the closest friends. However, remember, an enemy of my enemy is an enemy. So, even if the two don't get along, they will get along because they have a common enemy. And this common enemy was Germany. So, what did the U.S. do in order to support Russia? They then went to Congress, of course, and passed another act. Remember, the entire time up to when we joined the war, the U.S. was just making acts. They was making war material. They was lending. They was leasing. They weren't really in the war. So the U.S. responded in order to attack Japan. They made an Export and Control Act, which restricted the scale of strategy materials to the nations. So basically, FDR was like, hey, in order to keep Japan from going to Russia, we're going to stop Japan right there where they at. They limit the amount of fuel, and they limit the airplane scraps that Japan can buy, lend, or just get from the U.S. altogether. General. So when they did this act, Japan was highly upset because they needed airplane fuel to fuel their airplanes, and they needed airplane scrap in order to build more airplanes in order to go from Japan to Russia. So they got together and they planned the attack that we all know as Pearl Harbor. This attack happened on December the 7th, 1941. December the 7th, 1941. So not only did they bomb Pearl Harbor, but they also bombed Guam in the Philippines. Now, we kind of talked about why these two territories were super important, because what's the quickest and best way to get to Japan or Germany from the U.S.? Guam in the Philippines. Those are territories. We had bases there. So they bombed them, and they also bombed Hawaii. So a lot of people know, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, but they forget about our two territories, Guam and, correct, the Philippines. I said that a couple times, so hopefully you caught the hint. And when did this happen? December the 7th, 1941. So, on December the 8th, 1941, Congress declared war. If you remember, the reason why we really didn't join into the war when it first started was because we had a lot of people not wanting to go to war. We just got out of World War I. We went through the Roaring '20s. Then we had the Great Depression. And we was like, I want to be isolated. Like, I can't. Like, I just want to be by myself. However, the United States had not been attacked since 1812. So this was the first time that we, as a functioning, popular, strong country, had been attacked. And so people that did not want war was ready for war. What do we call people like this? War hawks. So, on your assignment in Google Classroom, you will see this. Please read through. It's a very, very important speech. It's one of FDR's most famous speech. It's a speech that he gave on December the 8th when he declared war. And he called this a war that would live in infamy because of that reason. We was like, what? And we hadn't been attacked since 1812, 1941, and then 2001. So those dates will live in infamy. They really will. So we declared war on December the 8th, 1941. Germany and Italy declared war on the U.S. on December the 11th, 1941. So December the 7th, we have the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And what other two places? A territory of the U.S.? Correct. The Philippines and Guam. The next day, this was not like we had to sit down and talk about it. It was like right up then, just couldn't happen the same day, but it was very close. On December the 8th, U.S. declared war and waited a couple days. On December the 11th, Germany and Italy declared war on the U.S. These are very important dates. I hope you're writing them down and writing down what happened. So we declared war on our enemy, and they declared war on us. So the best way to help fund a war is through correct bonds. So if you remember when we talked about World War I, we had war bonds as well. Well, we get into World War II, we continue this tradition and have war bonds. So the difference between these bonds is that back in World War I, we just called them war bonds. But in World War II, we called them e-bonds. Bonds were something that was very common during this time period. Remember, we out of the Great Depression by now. The war brought us out of the Great Depression. We're back to functioning. We're back to being an economic ruler, back to being in international markets. We're doing really good. So we was able to sell bonds to people in general. But when we entered the war, we started selling e-bonds. Again, we called them e-bonds. They were our war bonds. And these e-bonds were sold from 1941 until November of 1945. Please do not get confused. I know November pop up a lot in history. Another November that should have been like, oh, well, did it? No, we did not end war on November the 11th this go around. However, if you remember from World War I, we ended war on November the 11th during the 11th hour in 1918. That's when World War I ended. Do not get the Novembers confused. That just when we stopped selling war bonds. I'm sorry, and they be called e-bonds. Something else that happened in order to control the war effort is that we was already kind of doing rations, but we kind of made sure that we enforced them, made sure that everybody was just getting their piece of the pie, so we can have supplies to ship off to our soldiers that were going to war. Another thing that we started are victory gardens. So this one just like a garden in one city. A bunch of different cities, towns, and places started their own little victory garden in order to decrease the amount of food that they had to go buy in stores from farmers, because that food would be shipped off to soldiers. Instead, people grew their own fruits and vegetables in their own gardens and in their own communities and places like that. So that are all the notes I want you to take from this video. Make sure you read through this packet, answer all the questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow.